What was the reaction? What did you tell them?
Is very excited and is very I'm so excited for that game because it's very the fighting is so blood, you know.
Give me an inside scoop in terms of who was the loudest and what was the reaction of the players when they got in.
The Lao, right?
Yeah, who was the loudest? Who was the
Yeah.
most energetic?
Yeah.
Do it, man. You can do it.
Who out of all of them?
A coach.
The coach.
Yeah.
Coach. Coach, you know what? Coach, come on over here. Let me just see you for a little bit. How proud are you with what happened earlier? What did you tell the team?
I feel good, feel good.
Feeling good. What with that?
To here.
Doing hard work.
Yeah, hard work.
You're doing hard work.
And the hard work definitely is paying off right now with that win. Now, what do you want to say to everybody back home watching? Because we want them to support Nightmare.
Okay.
Okay, let her say it, but I will say loud.
Sure.
Okay, for our people, for Nightmare fans, so please supporting us. We will do our best and yeah, we will do our best. We will get the champ invite card.
And coach?
Yeah. Can I say in Laos?
Absolutely. Would love to hear you speak in your language.
สบายดีทุกคนพวกเขาทีมได้แม่อีสปอร์ตฝากให้ทุกคนให้กำลังใจพวกเขาเนี่ยพวกเขาจะเฮ็ดสุดความสามารถพวกเขาแล้วก็สิไป M5 ให้ได้เจอกันอยู่ฟิลิปปินส์ทุกค
Yeah,
น
see ya Philippines.
Oh, let's see if we'll see you in the Philippines. Once again, let's wish your team good luck. And now we're going to take it back to the casters. Be better than great.
진짜 가다 가자니 보는
Turning that best of 3 to a best of 1 is such a marvelous thing to witness at the first game, at the opening of the M5 wildcard. And there was actually a really spicy, let's say, because like ever since I came to Malaysia, everyone's talking to me, how like spicy tolerant are you, Yasu? But there was a spicy statement here from the coach. He said that we will 100% win this match, and they are running with the flow. And not just this, they didn't even just talk about this current match, they also said, see you to the Philippines.
They did. So on the spicy meter for Yasu, that's pretty spicy, right?
Yeah.
I mean, at the same time, it would be a great start here. Day one, if this is an upset against Team SMG for Nightmare Esports. If they want to get to that point where they need to be, that's exactly what they have to accomplish here. And it starts down to the draft, obviously, right? I mean, they have pulled out some surprising picks that worked really well for them. Can they replicate it for game 3? I think that's something a lot of people are wondering. And even for Team SMG on the other side, right? If they have a fully exposed base from the previous game like they did at around the 16-minute mark, can they capitalize on that? Can they end the game before something happens like what just happened in game 2 against Nightmare Esports? Because we know that that's a strength they're going to be looking for.
I think for both teams, there's a lot of adjustments required here to really get full success. And for sure, I think Nightmare Esports are the ones with the momentum here. They just won a game in a comeback fashion. And for SMG, they also just lost a game that seemed that would be going so good. So I feel like they have a bit of an edge technically in the mental game, but in the adjustments, in the drafting phase, we'll have to see. Because again, SMG has shown to have the more consistent, the more calculative draft. But Nightmare, maybe so far, they haven't really shown us all their weapons, right? They can bring out something really crazy right now and catch us all, including SMG, completely off guard.
Yeah, they can catch us off guard because right now they got into their comfort zone. Now they are catching up to the momentum. Now they are knowing what's going on. And adding to that, noting that the previous games didn't have a huge issue, like an issue that it is notable.
it's okay.
inside the draft itself. So it was mostly for me. Maybe I'll disagree. The draft, like, of course, played a part, but I think that the huge part, like the where my percentage goes the most, is or like towards the gameplay itself. And right now, we can see that also the fans are hyped up for the game because right now, SMG team need the support of Malaysia because Team SMG will be going to match point against Nightmares, and it is still the group stage, and it is still the opening match.
My biggest, I guess, a surprise if we see this again is if Khalid is locked in for the third game, right?
Really?
Because the reason why I say that is, and maybe you can break this down a little bit.
Or the control on the map to go for a 1v1 split push Khalid play. But you can see from the gameplay that when the Khalid just goes full damage, has damage emblems as well, it's a lot more dangerous. So if you're on the side of SMG, you get concerned about that, and maybe that's where you just miss opportunities and miss chances to go in. So I think the Khalid, if it's a comfort pick here, is important to be taken for Nightmare Esports.
Yeah, right now we will start together the drafting phase of the last match that's happening here, that's taking place here in Malaysia between Team SMG and Team Nightmare, and we have already with the first phase almost totally finished, and Team SMG actually, Naisu, they have banned that Khalid.
That's what I was gonna say, right? So they felt like it was a good enough fan for them to play around with, because like I said, we saw that in the previous two games. They don't want to take that chance that possibly it has a certain type of impact for game number 3 when it comes down to a best of 1. And you can already see, right, the Guinevere are going to be taken out. Bruno is still open. Does Team SMG want to take up Bruno in the first pick?
Yeah, but there's something that's quite notable here. I think that the meta is quite open, wide open, like in front of Team SMG and Team Nightmare. So I think that Nightmare has the advantage right now. Nolan's still out. Okay, like they have the Bruno first pick SMG, but Nolan's still out. Matilda is still out, and also like what else? Angela's still out. I think there's a variety of picks that Team Nightmare can just pick off what they want.
I mean, Fairness as well, to a degree, is possible. But now it seems like it's going to be the Yutong, and I think if they want to go for the Nolan here, this is not a bad game. Bruno technically is a bit vulnerable, but no, they want that Angela, man. They want to try and get revenge, use SMG's own strength against them. They went for the Yutong, though, and not the Baxia, which a lot of people would say is even more important. So for SMG right here, will they go for the Baxia? Because technically, as you mentioned earlier, Yasu, it's still a counter towards all this healing and shielding that the Angela can provide. And it's good against the Yuzhong too.
Yeah, and also the Matilda is still open, so we might see a support or like a healer, let's say, going for the favorite team SMG. But again, I will say it again and again and again until you guys get bored of it. Guinevere will be forbidden this season. I don't think that we will see Guinevere being played at all, but again, there's still a lot of like picks open, a lot of heroes open, and we can see a really quick Matilda joined up by the Valentina. What do you think so far? Also, like, nice. I want to know your take on the draft.
My take on this already in the first phase is the fact that you're going to be able to protect Bruno easily, right? You got the Matilda, you've already got the Valentina. You can take the hard guard if you want this time as well. You've got multiple options to protect by, mid to late game, your most damage dealing hero. And that's exactly what they're going for. We'll see how they round it out even further. So right now, looking at for Nightmare Esports, they've got to have an answer to it. Now next pick's going to be the Baksha. That helps them out with this situation that I just mentioned.
Tactical Analyst Arashi. There you have it, Baxia.
Baxia Yuzhong, so I mean, I would say that's crazy, but I mean, SMG got the same draft as well earlier, so far it's still pretty okay. But for SMG, they're banning away the Brody, banning away gold laners. They can try and outplay and be safe, and output damage from far away before the Bruno or the Matilda and Valentina can punish. But just like that, the Nolan and the Daiwa banned away. So for SMG, they need to find a way to deal with these tanky heroes. Some shred damage would be very, very nice here.
Yeah, after securing that marksman, after securing the gold lane, they will focus on the gold lane by nature. And also at the same time for Team Nightmare, after securing that jungle, they will focus on the second draft on banning junglers. But these are like kind of the basics. We haven't seen something quite special in the ban list, or like we haven't seen something quite spicy as the Khalid, as also Nice who said earlier on. But Team Nightmare, I think that right now they are pulling one of their wild cards. One of their cards that
I like it.
Yeah, wild card. See,
I
see how
got
I
it. I got
let
it.
it slide in.
I got you.
Yeah, wait until you hear better than great.
Okay.
Just wait for it. So Team Nightmare right now, after having that, like actually, I just wanted to predict it even before it shows up.
Sorry, I stopped you from
Yeah, it was just around the corner. So I was going to say that after having an Angela, I always expect to see either an Airfill or a Cloud.
यस्ता
Well,
जाडो
the
ठाउँमा
Irithel
चढेर
has
यस्तो
great synergy
किनेको
with the
छिन्
Angela.
माटो बच्चा ढिन्छ चिन ठाउँमा छनेर
And in fact, it was a broken combo that a lot of teams were just abusing. Having a Irithel with a lot of damage, with a lot of movement speed on top of, maybe a sprint. And her own ultimate, it's dangerous, but I can't help but feel
किन
that
बासिना नाच्ने
right
हामीले
now against a Mathilda, it's kind of manageable to a degree at least.
हेपटी ब्रो
For SMG though, that means that they need something tanky, someone to absorb that damage, but they go for the X work, they can survive the initial pickoff, and they have a heavy spin in the Akai. They can't pin down the Irithel, but I think that's a lot easier said than done. They might lack that damage.
And there was a really good fact here is that Miko, his birthday is today, or it was yesterday or
Yesterday.
today? Yesterday.
22nd, yep.
So will it be a happy birthday? Will he be gifted that victory? And also he will get that victory for Team SMG or not? That's what we will see in the upcoming minutes, in the upcoming match, the match that will gather between two giant teams. Team SMG, who are now in trouble and who are now most protected that they will win, but Team Nightmares seems that they will show them nightmares even if it's the afternoon.
And with that, was taking a look at the last lineups here for what's come down to a best of one between these two teams, Nightmare Esports. I love what they've done, right? They are quite durable. They're beefy. So we'll see if they can pull it off.
Yeah, transforming this best of 3 to a best of 1 is always a pleasure. Seeing Team SMG go compete against Team Nightmare and trying to get that victory after starting it off was a really good initiation, like a really good start. Now Team Nightmare have that momentum. Team Nightmare just came from a victory and they can complete it. They can make it 2-1 in the opening of a Malaysian team here in Malaysia. Team SMG are in danger.
Definitely. Team Nightmare has SMG in their sights, almost ironically, but now, with a Minotaur, this means that the Roamer can't really engage. They're going to be very one-dimensionally playing around the Baxia or the Yuzong for the engagement in the big fight. The Irithel will be able to do damage, but at the same time, you have to wonder what's the idea here. Do they want to all dive in together? Does someone want to stay in the back with Juliana?
Juliana. Can he actually survive this? Going to try to get away. Has the heal from Jasmine. Couple hits, though. Good cover from Jasmine there. Oh, the flicker comes through. Zaxa gets the first blood. And that's the mobility we're talking about from the lineup from Team SMG.
Miko, I think that you are the one who's supposed to be giving
out,
gifts,
yeah.
not taking gifts, not giving gifts, because right now Zaxa got a really good gift from Miko.
Man, the Mathilda is just so difficult to deal with in the early game. And before level 4, the Angela is great, but in the mid lane, you don't really win out in the wave clear either. So that is a change that was made onto Angela to reduce her flexibility. The wave clear department will be favoring SMG. What can they do with it? Can they try and use Saxa as a very aggressive, dominant jungler to push too easy for Lexi away and once again put him into a losing jungle matchup and make him have a difficult game?
Well, one of the things I really admire about Team SMG's draft is that they have all kinds of damage, magical damage, physical damage, and even true damage. But again, it seems like they will leave that Lord. No, they will not.
He's gonna go for it again. Hard guard gonna be used. Saxa gets the turtle, gonna be fighting it off.
Oh!
There's the heavy spin. The lockdown
Ooh!
comes through. Juliana will fall though, even despite Soul using the hard guard. So with that, Team SMG gets the turtle and gets another kill.
I do feel like the main issue right here is the target selection for Nightmare Esports. They've been able to go in the right time with the right tools, but who are they going for really? Right? Were they aiming for Saxa there? He wasn't in the fight, I believe. Was he aiming for Saxa to try and deny the jungle take? It seems like they just weren't sure what to be doing there. So Saxa, with the heavy spin, just very casually takes away that neutral objective. In the next fight, you gotta put some pressure onto the Panda and make sure that he feels the heat.
Yeah, he does
Literally.
feel that heat. He does feel that heat. And trust me right now, maybe Sissel will feel the heat.
Soul gonna be in trouble. Flickers out. Will be able to survive. Do they want more? Nightmare Esports is gonna put the pressure here. Jasmine there with too easy for Lexi, but they just back off for now.
Too easy for Lexi. And actually, Lexi is living up to that. I heard the song even just before we entered the game, the main theme song for our like M5. So it says the land is lava. So right now, maybe Nightmare will make the land lava for SMG because right now they have the opportunity to take this back home, or they might be just not up to the test. But so far, they have been up to the test. They have been doing so great, and even better than great.
Better than great.
See,
Love it.
see how did
There it
I
is.
use it?
That's
job.
very good. Well, for Team SMG, look at the
Oh.
wave clear potential. Soul once again
Not getting away from that one. As we were saying, Rashi.
getting absolutely destroyed. This is what the issue right here. Nightmare Esports, they're winning in the jungle clear department because Baksha, very simply. But the mid lane is always favoring Team SMG. Even when they take it a 3v3 and Miko takes damage.
Oh, Miko. Gonna have to flicker out. Will survive though. But again, Kami is going to be the one that they have to watch out for. Scaling into this game. Right now, everything that Nightmare Esports have is just a lot of durability, right? A lot of sustainability. But you even saw just previously, Stormy picked up the necklace of Durance. It's going to help them deal with some of that healing coming from Soul. Right now,
It did not
battle
have.
for the second turtle. Hard guard going to be used on Juliana. Still trying to
But
keep the
in
map
the
bait.
doctor, yeah.
Both junglers still going to be going for the turtle. And Saxa secures it. Jasmine going to fall. And now they're still going. Looking for their own kill. Stormy's going to be next. Too easy. Will fall as well.
Oh, Smooth.
It's a bloodbath in the turtle pit. Smooth has to flicker out. Will not fall though.
He
Juliana.
had to go back. He really had to go back. And now they managed to not just get the turtle, but also win the team fight.
I wonder what's the mindset here with the teams picking up the Angela and just kind of going weird there. Because right there, Nightmare Esports, they had the Yuzong Angela combo. Who did the dragon go on? He went on the Minotaur. Like,
Yeah.
is the dragon hungry? Does he need beef? What is going on here? Why is Saxa being left open? Why is Stormy and Sasa, the core damage dealers, not zoned away from the middle of the big fight? Team SMG right now with two very easy neutral objective takes. Can they continue with this? And if it does, then it comes down back to the Lord usage, and maybe there, Nightmare Esports can turn it around. This is a weird game we're in.
Yeah, it is a weird game, but it is not quite similar to the previous one. The only thing that's similar is that Team SMG is in charge. Team SMG is in the lead from the early game, the very early game, the beginning of the game. They are still in the lead, but Team Nightmare just might pull off the same trick out of the same hat and take this game and even like take Saxa out at some point. There was a little bit of poking, but I don't know what's happening.
They're going to be in trouble here. Still, hard
Oh,
guard going to be
Sasa.
used. Sasa has to back off. Will he be able to get away?
Oh.
Heavy spin goes. Sasa going to fall here. Stormy trying to make his way for the fight. It's too easy for Lexi. That falls next. The one-for-one trade. They stay in the top side. Are they still going to go for it? Soul, Jasmine, Cammy wants to keep Saxa here. Stormy as well has his own Minoan Fury, and they will just disengage. Turtle now spawning in a couple seconds.
Ooh, almost a big play right there with the Minion Fury stolen. by up even one level
Stormy is
ahead
pushing.
compared to Cammy. But Stormy is pushing, gets a free turret right there. So you can see again the macro difference right here from Team SMG. Even though Nightmare has a Baxia, they're not arriving in the right place at the right time faster.
Yeah, and Smooth actually there's before Smooth we want to see what's happening, what is going on in the top side. The Angela used her ultimate but just saved Kami from whatever was coming his way. And I'll go back to my point where I was saying that Team Nightmare can pull off a good team fight. With that like goal difference, I think that it's building up slowly to the Erythel, but what will be so annoying for Team Nightmare with time is when Smooth gets his immortality.
With the immortality, it's basically 3 lives available for the X-Borg. But for Nightmare Esports, they can just keep going after the initial pickoff unless they get jumped on first.
Gonna go for this again right now, just disengaging. But Juviana flies in with the dragon form, holding
Ooh.
them back. They might just want this turret and to disengage further. Stormy
Oh!
though looks for his own setup.
Ooh.
So Soul gonna fall, and another body drops up in the top side. Too easy for Alexi, trying to get away, but it's last insanity and the whole force of Team SMG to take him out of the top side.
SMG was a massive play, get 3 kills in the top lane in the top side. Sasa is the ruler, and Sasa deals a huge amount of damage, and the Lord is up in the Land of Dawn and took us through that team fight. It had so much going on Rashi.
I think it was all Stormy, man. He flickered in with the stolen Minu and Fury and was able to land it on Cammy of all people, catching him off guard, knowing that he has no Purify. Looking at the items right here, he has the Lightning Truncheon on top of the Necklace of Durance, so he can actually cut down on the healing from so many members of Nightmare Esports. That's definitely a big possibility, especially if he steals the Minu and Fury and applies it to everyone at the same time. Now, with SMG having the lead, they're going to try and go for even more, especially when the Lord comes up. They're going to try and go for a decisive fight once again because they do have that AoE advantage.
Yeah, they have the Lord on their side, they have the fans on their side, they have everything going to their favor, but this is just exactly like how it was last game going on. Last game was going towards the side of Team SMG, and even though, as you mentioned, they can go for defense, they have like clearance and everything, but they want to go for a more aggressive approach. They want to crack the base open, they want to see, and actually I want to see, will they finish with the first Lord for the first time or not?
Dragon form again. Look at the damage. Juviana in trouble already. Has to back off. Trying to hold that tier 2 turret. But they got to deal with the Lord as well, making away the top side. And right now, Team SMG not looking to happen
Pido
what
ng boyar.
happened last game. They want to expose this base. Smooth gonna go in with last insanity, forcing Nightmare Esports back. Right now, Cammy gets the hard guard. They lose the turret. Can they make quick work of the Lord
1
here?
minute, boss.
Oh, Miko!
Certainly, he's going to be used now. A couple threats for them. Team SMG now continuing on the mid turret. They get that. Still going to be fighting for it. Too easy for Lexi. Gets Smooth, but he has the immortality still. Nothing left for them to do unless they take the bottom turret.
Yeah, the base is almost exposed, and Sasa right now will need some damage. They will focus on taking that last turret and might not. They will not go for another fight. They will not go for the crystal. Now they will go back, and now you will tell us what did just happen in that team fight, Russia, because I think that Team Nightmare could have pulled up a better defense.
I think the problem right here is they have a dive composition, but you can see Juviana. It takes like, I think about 8 shots from the Bruno, from Sasa, for him to get dangerously low. So when you are that squishy against someone who is that far ahead, it makes it very difficult for you to dive with any meaningful result.
Oh,
Maybe later on it's possible, but the recalls coming in from both these teams trying to assert dominance. Well, for Team SMG, they're able to use the Lord efficiently, not get a 3-lane push, but still able to get 3 base turrets down. So now, if you think the macro game is difficult for Nightmare Esports, it's about to get more difficult with all the waves just pushing in by default towards their base.
Yeah, they are having that confidence boost. They are having their moment. Now they are dominating the game. They have like a huge amount of gold to their favor. And also everything is going to their side, by the way. So actually, without needing that next Lord, we might see a finish. But Team SMG, as always, they go for the safer route. They go for the safer options. And now they will take that Lord without anything coming from the side of Team Nightmare, because Team Nightmare right now, they have to pull off that solid defense. And as I told you, Smooth, once he get that immortality, he will be so annoying. Imagine how annoying will he be when it comes to the next team fight.
Well, if you look at these items, he also has the War Axe, so for a bit more damage and movement speed, and the Ice Queen's Wand. This
Wow.
was nerfed from when X-Broke was super meta, so the slow, it kind of builds up. It doesn't go instantly like high, it's a slower slow, but it's still gonna be a big problem
Slower
in the
slow.
middle of a fight. Now with the Lord coming in, the beginning of the end for
This,
PSMG.
this could be it. Nightmare Esports trying to hold on. Kubiana flying into the
Ooh.
fray of things. Has the hard guard. They got to make
Ooh.
quick work of the Lord as well. Heavy spin comes down, but Smooth gets the kill. Team SMG will keep their nightmares at bay in day number 1 the wild card as they take the series 2-1.
Wait a moment. Team SMG are now shining. They have their moment, and they have earned their moment. The first match winner, the first match and the opener of the M5 Wild Card Championship will take it back home. Team SMG, and now we can say happy birthday, Nico.
The birthday boy making the plays happen, man. That was such a great performance. A full utilization of the Matilda. It was just too difficult for Nightmare to deal with, man. And they were just unable to find anything of real value in the early game. In that last fight, it was so close. They did the combo, right? The dragon with the hard guard towards the Bruno, but it's a too little too late. For now, it's Team SMG just going through with the predictions. Is coming out on top against Nightmare Esports.
I think again a part of that was, they learned from game 2. They're like, all right, if we have a base fully exposed at like 14, 15 minutes, we don't want to let the opposing team buy another 10 minutes to have a chance of back into the game. The second Lord, and then by that time, they all. Hello everyone, my name is LaFell, and I'm here on the players' room for Team SMG. And as you guys are walking, hold on, Saksa, I actually want to talk to you. Come here. First of all, here's your mic. Hey, translator, Miko, be here. All right. First of all, congratulations for the win against Nightmare Esports. But I have to ask, in game number 2, you guys were doing well, but why was it difficult to end the game?
So we're to the hero of enemy. So so many damage.
Go ahead and translate, or do you want me to translate?
It's okay, English.
He said he can talk in English.
The enemy.
Yeah, the enemy.
hero. So many damage, so hard to attack.
So apparently the enemy had so much damage that it became very difficult for them to end the game. Now, Saksa, I also have to ask, starting off this game against Nightmare Esports, it was very difficult. What is going to be the mindset for Team SMG against all the other teams you guys are fighting after this?
But that did not translate.
Translate, yeah. Nico,
Ano sabi?
what is the mindset for Team SMG after this, after seeing Nightmare Esports is so strong?
Ano daw mindset natin pagpunta sa next game kasi malakas daw yung Nightmare Esports?
Reset lang. Reset. After the game, one game at a time. Then positive. Always positive.
All right, so they're gonna keep positive. They're gonna reset. They're gonna make sure that they are ready for the next games moving forward. Thank you very much, Miko. Thank you very much, Saksa. Again, congratulations on the win, and good luck for the next one. We'll be going back to the casters.
Itu mana ada?
Welcome everyone again. Now we are back to the desk. Now we get to see that Team SMG have made it, and Team SMG have took their first victory. And as we have seen, like backstage, Saxa have just told us that they will get things in place, that they will align their they will get to the right mindset to show us a better performance in the upcoming days. And these were like really good words coming from the jungler. And actually, at some points, they told you he was out in a blink of an eye. After the first match ended, after seeing that there was actually sometimes the momentum plays a huge role. Do you think that Team Nightmare in the upcoming stages can show us something really like unique?
I think he has to like clean up the early game execution. I feel like when it comes to the late game, where it's a proper team fight, right, where it's a default team fight clash and no real weird maneuvers, I feel like Nightmare Esports does pretty okay. But on the flip side, right, SMG, what they did really well is that early game rotation. When the laning phase just ended, they really come out strong and they're able to get so much for their team. But later, it seems like during the team fights, it's just not as clean as you would expect from the tournament favorites. So I think both teams have to improve on opposite ends of the game, which is pretty funny if you ask me.
Well, actually, you have like kind of sent a message to Team Nightmare. So, do you, Naisu, need to send a message to Team SMG?
Here's the message right here. Team SMG, congratulations to Saksa for the MVP on this one again. You know, we saw his performance here, and I think that's a message enough because he's a threat alone to a lot of these teams that will be playing against Team SMG. He's a key component to the success that this team has had, and it shows, right? Even with a utility tank like this, the Akai, a lot of the times they found the lockdowns they needed, and it worked well for them.
Well, he was also able to go and play this Akai in a more aggressive fashion. Here's some highlights brought to you by Grab. We're going to see some of the plays happen.
But what was happening?
From SMG and how they're able to get ahead because they abuse the mobility and they use the Akai base damage, and of course the heavy spin to really get a pretty much guaranteed turtle and lore take the longer the game goes. But aside from that, when there are no objectives on the map, he is still very happy to just come in and be that main engage tool and sometimes even cutting off members of Nightmare Esports from their own base. And he has never really countered or targeted in the middle of these fights, man. Look at where the damage is going. It's not going towards him. And the crowd control and the knockbacks, none was targeted at the main, the main man in an objective take, the jungler.
Yeah, and if you look at it from another aspect, you can say that luck didn't play a huge part or even a part in this game. It was just pure professional gameplay, pure unique gameplay. And that's what we are supposed to expect from such a huge tournament.
Afterwards, you can see when they have the advantage, they keep going for it. The wave wasn't really set up for a triple lane push, but with how ahead they were, with how much more dominant they are able to actually position over Nightmare Esports, they just keep going. And now with a marksman, they can really take down those turrets from a good distance. You can see that they're having a lot more success. And afterwards, they just lock the members of Nightmare Esports in their base. And here is that last final play. You can see Sasa was struggling, was in a bit of danger. But look at the coverage, man. The heavy spin just pushes everyone away. And there's still the guiding wind to play around with. So he is just right there. Look at a healing coming in from the flash of the Oasis as well. So healing has been nerfed a bit with the support item change. It doesn't heal you as much anymore. But you can see that with the right composition, it's definitely still a very meta tactic.
Like I said, man, if you remember early on, Stormy picked up, I think it was the first item. We'll take a glimpse at the items here in a bit, but the main thing is he took up that Necklace of Durance really quickly, And that's what really dealt with a lot of the healing, the sustainability from Nightmare Esports. That's what they wanted that Angela for, right? So if you're having such a massive lead in all the other lanes and then you lose a ton of that sustainability on the other side, it's tough to deal with, right? It's tough to get back in that situation where you can go toe-to-toe with Team SMG here.
Yeah, but I really have a question here to you, Arashi. Why, like Miko, with his build, you think that he was squishy enough to like get like
Is he
stay away and
tanky enough to be in the front line? Is what
No,
you're asking?
because he's not tanky at all. Look at his build.
Exactly. I do feel like the idea is for him to stay in the back, which is why it almost forces Saksa on the Akai to actually be as aggressive as he is. Like we saw him cutting off members of Nightmare Esports on the top side of the map. Looking at the cards though, which guy is Saksa? Because he was just farming up on the Bruno. And this is why Bruno is also so good. The farming speed, the fact that your first skill is technically a constant reset, makes it so efficient to farm with when you're not disrupted. And the carry is still going to be Stormy. Despite the fact that he went for the utility quote-unquote item, the Necklace of Durance, instead of the usual burst or magical damage items, he's still able to be on top because of Altina, right? This is why this hero is so good. And you can use it in a variety of ways as well. But yes, I do think that's the idea, man. Like, they're gonna go aggressive in the front, and then Mathilda isn't gonna be the main frontliner. Even when she goes in with the circling eagle, she'll dash out with a guiding wind and take someone with her. So it's not exactly a frontline play style.
So you're saying, like, if I understood you correctly, you said that it is used for engage and disengage, but not to stay up front and not to take or like suck in a lot of damage. Well, after seeing the first match and after seeing what happened with us, like it was like a ton or like a really huge amount of information that we saw. Let's hit it to a break and come back to you with the next game.
दारू यस्तो बोलिदिन्छन् माझ यहाँ गेडाको पर्छ भर्खर दिनु रक्सटारमा पर्छ यार
We are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have had amazing reactions, major IP owners,
It's
and a
holding
lot
me
of
to that.
partners and stakeholders coming in here and taking a peek. Gadia's cube over here has been the nexus of the zone.
What I saw from the outside is very mysterious. You want to know what's happening inside.
Felt like, you know, this is an MMORPG, but R is not role playing, it's real world.
यस्तो गेम खतरा हुन्छ यार मेरो मोल्ड चाहिँ अड्किन्छ पुरै ब्याकमा बेसी भएन र अड्किन्छ तिनीहरू पैसा एक गुजी गर्नु रुपियाँमा अझै सेफ रे पैसा चाहिँ गुजीमा सेफ बाफै हुँदैन छिटो बेसी हेर्ने कि अरे छिटो नेपालको देखिन्छ नि कि लोगो त होला यार Man, fuck this mobile. तिमीको जित्छ क्या यार नेपालको मुख रहन्छ Would you rather have a healer monitor or full tank monitor? हुने क्या एउटा बिलको त जम्मा फेरि त्यो पनि भने भाइ हिलो ट्याङ्क त्यसै ट्याङ्क दियो त त्यहाँ मोडी चाहिँ बाउलाई सुताउनु बसिरहेको छ Man, I used to have a 5,600 subscribers, but I upload some videos with song and this is copyright, man. So the silence is death. They didn't know it's removed. And when I appeal, this will not put the channel account back. So just dancing here, man. For 2 years, I streamed in their channel. I was there view, but in this, look, man, zero view, zero like. It's awesome, man.
The champion of the arena. The fans adore me because I've never lost.
खुया भर्खर लस गरी गरेर जोते खेलेर मिनोटोरो देखाएको छु उता
Do you ever get scared of losing, Kenny?
Well, big girl, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit. World Championship. I'm back.
because I was born to be win.
It is that time of the year again when the best teams in the world will gather to compete and strive for greatness. This year, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M5 World Championship will introduce a wildcard stage for the first time in history. Held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 8 additional teams will be given the chance to fight for only 2 tickets to M5. Let's look at how the wildcard phase will unfold. The qualified teams will be divided into 2 groups of 4 via random draw. Teams will compete among each other in each group in a single round-robin best-of-3 matches. The 2 lowest-ranking teams of each group will be eliminated, while the 2 teams of each group will play a crossover best-of-5 matches with the other group. For example, A1 versus B2, B1 versus A2, and the 2 winning teams of crossover matches will advance to the M5 group stage in Manila. Now that we have assembled all the participants, let's look at the tournament structure of the M5 World Championship. In M5, a total of 16 teams will compete in 2 stages to be better than great: the group stage and the knockout. Firstly, let's look at the group draw. The champions and runner-ups of MPL Indonesia Season 12 and MPL Philippines Season 12 are slotted in Pool 1. The champions from the following 8 regions will be in Pool 2, while the runner-up of LLM 2023, champion from MCC, and the 2 wildcard winners are in Pool 3. To start the draw, 1 team each from Pool 1 will be distributed to 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. Next, each group will randomly draw 2 teams from Pool 2 and one team from Pool 3. Do note that teams from the same country or region will not be drawn into the same group. If that happens, the latter team will be adjusted until all teams are slotted and comply to the rules. In the group stage, teams will play a best-of-3 single round robin. The two teams with the lowest rankings in each group of the group stage will be eliminated. Now, let's take a look at the knockout format. Note that there will be a knockout draw after the group stage. The 4 first place teams will be in Pool 1, while the second place teams will be in Pool 2. Two teams from the same group will not be drawn together, and that will form our knockout bracket. It will feature a double elimination bracket featuring the final 8 teams. All the series will be best of 5 except for the grand finals, where it will be best of 7. The M5 knockout will be spread out across 6 days, where the surviving teams are one step closer to becoming the M5 World Champions. And that's all you need to know about M5's tournament format. Remember to tune in or see you in Manila. Achieving greatness, one step beyond. Be better than great.
Hit me like I might get over, but you can give me in no corner. I know I can make a comeback. Ace this round, and finish this game now. Got the power on my shoulders. Yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You can keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my honor. Nah, 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 I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms, 'cause I know just what I got. I got you like na na na, and you know I hold the power. This feeling I feel, oh yeah, making my grind good to great, so don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are first, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. Conquer the great, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I become the greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate.
More
Championship mind,
than
no time for the weak. What's up to the
more than
game?
2 bit,
Shine,
man.
reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms, 'cause I know just what I got. I got you like na na na, and you know I hold.
Man, Mohammad Zain was in the court. Mohammad Zain was born to be better, man.
Don't change. Great, we are better than great. Conquer the great, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I become the greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power to dominate fate. Championship mind, no time for the weak. What's up to the game? Shine, reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms, 'cause I know just what I got. I got you like na na na, and you know I hold the power. This feeling I feel, oh yeah, making my grind good to great, so don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, good. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are first, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. If we stand tall and believe, we
Mobajan is the goat. That's why it's alone, man. There is no one standing beside him.
We are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have
Laki ng bawi pag nag-grab unleash set 244 bawing 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 bawing
Mobajan is the goat. That's why it's alone, man. There is no one standing beside him.
we are here at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking.
To Professor, not even the cosmos can stop me. I am the number one seed, the champion of the arena. The fans adore me because I've never lost. You are afraid. Afraid that you'll lose everything. Do you ever get scared of losing, Kimmy?
Well, big bro, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit.
Masih ada dulu, baru. Pakai yang ayo, ini betul.
M World Championship.
सब ठाउँमा
It is that time of the year again when the best teams in the world will gather to compete and strive for greatness. This year, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M5 World Championship will introduce a wildcard stage for the first time in history. Held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 8 additional teams will be given the chance to fight for only 2 tickets to M5. Let's look at how the wildcard phase will unfold. The qualified teams will be divided into 2 groups of 4 via random draw. Teams will compete among each other in each group in a single round-robin best-of-3 matches. The 2 lowest ranking teams of each group will be eliminated, while the 2 teams of each group will play a crossover best-of-5 matches with the other group. For example, A1 versus B2, B1 versus A2, and the 2 winning teams of crossover matches will advance to the M5 group stage in Manila. Now that we have assembled all the participants, let's look at the tournament structure of the M5 World Championship. In M5, a total of 16 teams will compete in 2 stages to be better than great. The group stage and the knockout. Firstly, let's look at the group draw. The champions and runner-ups of MPL Indonesia Season 12 and MPL Philippines Season 12 are slotted in Pool 1. The champions from the following 8 regions will be in Pool 2, while the runner-up of LLM 2023, champion from MCC, and the 2 wildcard winners are in Pool 3. To start the draw, 1 team each from Pool 1 will be distributed to 4 groups, A, B, C, and D. Next, each group will randomly draw 2 teams from Pool 2 and 1 team from Pool 3. Do note that teams from the same country or region will not be drawn into the same group. If that happens, the latter team will be adjusted until all teams are slotted and comply to the rules. In the group stage, teams will play a best-of-3 single round robin. The 2 teams with the lowest rankings in each group of the group stage will be eliminated. Now, let's take a look at the knockout format. Note that there will be a knockout draw after the group stage. The 4 first place teams will be in Pool 1, while the second place teams will be in Pool 2. 2 teams from the same group will not be drawn together, and that will form our knockout bracket. It will feature a double elimination bracket featuring the final 8 teams. All the series will be best of 5 except for the grand finals, where it will be best of 7. The N5 knockout will be spread out across 6 days, where the surviving teams are 1 step closer to becoming the M5 World Champions. And that's all you need to know about M5's tournament format. Remember to tune in or see you in Manila. Achieving greatness, 1 step beyond. Be better than great.
Hit me like I might kick over, but you can keep me in no corner. I know I can make a comeback. Ace this round and finish this game now. Got the power on my shoulders. Yeah, you know that I'm a soldier. You can keep me off my guard, but you can't keep me from my arm. Nah, nah, nah. I feel like the floor is harder. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got. I got you like na-na-na. And you know I hold the power. This feeling I love. Oh, yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, girl. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are fun, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. Can't get it great, I'm better than great. I play my own role, I become the greatest. Transcend myself into this game, yeah. I build a power that dominate fate. Championship mind on top of the week. What's up to the game? Shout, reveal. Better than great, that's how we feel. I feel like the floor is lava. The energy's getting higher. You're saving my arms. 'Cause I know just what I got.
कोही भन्छ नि त्यो
Na-na-na.
बहिनी घर भन्छ मेरो
Power, this feeling I love. Oh, yeah. Making my grind good to great. So don't stand in my way. Standing tall and I won't fall over. We are better than great, girl. We are better than great. We stand tall, won't run away. We are fun, nothing gon' change. Great, we are better than great. If we stand tall
Nice. तिनले के खान्छन् र X6
We
ढुङ्ग्दै
are
जान्छ
here
क्या
at Gamers 8 to show that we are walking the walk. We have had amazing reactions, major idea owners, and a lot of potential partners and stakeholders coming in here and taking a peek. The DS Cube over here has been the nexus of this zone.
What I saw it from the outside, it's very mysterious. You want to know what's happening inside.
Felt like, this is an MMORPG, but R is not role playing, it's real world.
फोन में रेकॉर्ड है 6 बजे तेरे यार स्प्रिङ बजिरब खतरा बनास भएर किन गरेर त त्यो गएको छु उनीहरूले स्टुडेन्ट छ अनि यतिजना स्टुडेन्ट धाउँदा आउँछन् प्रोडक्टिभ ठिकै छ घर बन्ना छ क्या भर्खर ढुङ्गा बस्छु यहाँ स्टोन्स Leader.
The fans adore me because I've never lost.
The fan adores me because I never lost. Lost is not my blood. जिसको म सट्टा सब हाल्दैछु विद्या ठुङ्गिरलाई
Do you ever get scared of losing again?
Well, big girl, I think we should cherish the joy and excitement of each game. Not who won or lost.
That's right. I'll strive for victory, but I won't lose myself in its pursuit. World Championship.
Get a 24 into 20 bully. I'm going to दाजुहरू त सब सट्टा जान्छन् क्या यार याद छ नि त
It is that time of the year again when the best teams in the world will gather to compete and strive for greatness. This year, the Mobile Legends Bang Bang M5 World Championship will introduce a wildcard stage for the first time in history. Held in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, 8 additional teams will be given the chance to fight for only 2 tickets to M5. Let's look at how the wildcard phase will unfold. The qualified teams will be divided into 2 groups of 4 via random draw. Teams will compete among each other in each group in a
Yes, 24. Women's national के साली में ले 25 में आती है उसमें
Roses are red and violets are blue. I'm Yasu, joined by
Wrong guy.
Rashi
Wrong
and
intonation.
Taisu. So we are back once again to witness a really great game that's going to happen, and we welcome you back to the Wild Card Championship. And together we will see who's going to be able to be better than great, who will be able to be in the M5 World Championship. I want to know your take, Naisu. What do you expect from next match?
Oh, hopefully, again, after seeing the last one, the best of 3 going 3 games, I think some people were already surprised by that, so maybe we see some surprises here. But of course, before we talk more about the match, we do want to go ahead and just mention that M5 is powered by Moonton. It's presented by Kia, supported by ROG, the official gaming phone, Grab, the official super app partner, and Secret Lab, our official chair partner.
Thank you very much for your support, guys. This would not be possible without all your support, and we are very grateful to have this opportunity. But moving on here.
You should move on and search hashtag MLPBM5 on TikTok to find the best M5 content there is. Remember to use the hashtag MLPBM5 to share your content and to stand a chance to win rewards. So at the beginning, we just said that there will be a lot of giveaways, a lot of rewards, and we have seen Team SMG gets rewarded for their hard effort. So KPG team, one of the most awaited teams to see what will they do in an international stage. So I took your take a little bit. I got some of your insight. I want to get that TAA insight on that.
I feel like they're both very new in the international domain of Mobile Legends. So what I expect and what I really hope we're going to see is crazy picks. I mean, we saw a Tigreal. Who would have thought? I mean, a lot of people were memeing it, right? Like, oh, Tigreal now, the ultimate is like a lot more instantaneous, it's faster. So it can be meta. It depends on how you use it. We've heard a lot of statements like this about multiple different heroes. So seeing it come out in the flesh is what we're expecting. And with both teams relatively inexperienced, I really hope that we see even more of those.
I actually got to talk with Team Embryo backstage, and they are so confident. They know what they can do, and they have studied their opponents. So Team, actually, like Imperio, they know what exactly they want to do, and I think they came today prepared.
Not only that, but KBG, right? This is a team that we heard so much about, the region, if you will, as an entirety. And we already saw a glimpse of what's happening, right, in the MLBB esports scene. For China, that was back in MPLI where we saw Nova play. Again, they were selected to play in MPLI. Just like now, KBG has been selected to play here for the wild card, right? And their hopes are to move forward, of course, to the main event over the Philippines.
So used. Even used.
Now, that's the thing. We know big parts of it. The proof is in the pudding, as I like to put it. So we'll see if that can happen here. And against a team like Imperio, who, like you mentioned, Yasu, is obviously ready to prove themselves, because we know how this region has performed even in history, right? Back in, it was Malvinas Gaming, right? Back for Malvinas Gaming. Imperio, in a way, they want to change the perception that has been built for that region. And this is where they start, against an opponent that a ton of people have their eyes on.
Yeah, actually, if you spoke a little bit about Beru and their team in the M4, Team MVG, that team actually made it to the lower bracket, and they had I'm not gonna say the best run possible, but they have shown up on international stage. So back at Beru, they already have that international experience. So did it pass, or like, did it get past the Team Imperio? Do you think that?
Team Imperio, I think. What's the question again?
It was like M4, MVG had participated, so Biro already had an international experience.
True.
So do you think when Team MVG came back to Biro, they have channeled that experience and passed a little bit of it to Team Imperio?
Well, I think definitely. I think
Yeti
when
हेर्नुपर्छ क्या
a region
मान्छे
comes in
होला जस्तो।
contact with a different region, you're seeing a clash of a lot of metas, a lot of different mindsets even, maybe jungle-focused gameplay or gold lane-focused gameplay. There's a lot of different things that you don't really need to you don't have to have a lot of exposure to the whole region for a long period of time just to see and get in touch with that difference, and then bring out why that's the reason, and use that kind of knowledge to really bring out the best in your region, right? Spread that new mindset among your own players, because if you can do it well, if you bring, let's say, a single idea to your own region, but then you keep winning, then teams are bound to notice.
Yeah, and also, like, speaking of history, both of these regions haven't showed like a really good history so far. So right now we will head towards the, like you can see the logo, you can see that everyone is getting aligned, everyone is getting ready just to provide the best experience possible for the players. We have all like the judges, like
Marshals.
What was it?
Marshals.
Yep. Marshals, not the judges. So
thank you very much for your work, guys.
Yeah. Team KBG are now coming to the stage, are now going to show us, are they gonna be better than great? History is not in the favor of Team KBG or like the China, and also it's not for the favor of Team Biru. They both had not quite mentionable runs on international stages, because once we mentioned MVG for Biru, we have to also mention Nova for China.
Yeah, not only that, but again, as Imperial Esport walks out here on the stage as well, ready to face off against KBG. The thing is, from Peru, these players, they are ready to prove a point, right? Now the region itself has been quite impressive, if you will. There's a ton of talent there. And with this one specifically, you have to talk about the jungler, Aurora. He is great with meta heroes. He likes the off-meta picks as well, right? It really just depends on the situation and how they want to approach the game.
And when you're in doubt, going for the early game aggression and the skirmishes is always a great idea. So I think for Imperial right here, they can really try and take advantage of it. But here's where the intelligence battle begins, right? Who actually has more to try and counter, more information to try and find counters and find strategies? Because otherwise, it's a bit of a risk that both teams are taking in the beginning, just going in blind to this drafting phase.
Yeah, and also the mutual respect between the players and the coaches is always quite pleasing, or like it is always quite pleasing to the eye. KBG, walk us through it, Maisu.
KBG, we know that they like to play a 4-1 protect kind of style. That's what they like to draft with, at least from the scouting reports. Again, this is a team that we don't have a ton of information about, right? So that has to kind of go about as the tournament unfolds, and we'll know more about it. But also, looking at Imperio, we know this team, they're pretty wild in the draft. They like to pull out some of these interesting picks, especially for their jungle and their XP.
Yeah, and also Yuri is a pretty dynamic gold laner. He's okay being left 1v1. He doesn't need to be a babysitter. He can deal with whatever situation you put him in.
And we hear that Fashion and Steve, they're just really aggressive, and they would probably contest the early game objectives, especially the turtle. So for both teams, it seems like they have a bit of a team fight bias here. They're going to try and group up. So I think it comes down to what can they do before that, because the fights, I think any professional Mobile Legends player will be able to play a team fight well, but the setup is where it's important.
Yeah, but speaking of professional players in Mobile Legends, how long do you think will it take for the Chinese?
Mobile game, of course, it's China.
China.
является Китай.
China corona का मार्केट चुप हो सकेगा.
I think it will grow more because they do everything to
जानना
win,
बहुत
like
सही
that
होगा.
kind of
एक
mentality.
क्लिक ना भर गया
我
यार.
觉得我们队伍是一个比较敢打敢拼的队伍吧，就是无论在国外还是国内，我们都是一个很敢于去打架的。
Kasta game tu धेरै गोली चाहिँ
MLB
क्लिक हुन्न
media
यार.
cukup lagi setahun. Masih depan mungkin dalam setahun setengah boleh kot.
I don't expect much from them in this wild card.
我觉得他们第一个 season 吧，应该不是打瓦兹的成绩，下一次可能好一点吧，因为他们才刚开始。
Yo no creo que KBG sea tan poderoso como dicen, como porque el otro equipo chino terminó mal.
我们想跟他们说的是，虽然我们才刚加入这个项目不久，但是不要小看我们。
Я считаю, что китайцы в будущем станут очень сильны. Я готов им отдать сразу второе место после EECA, поэтому... Should KBG be the team that we fear? We don't fear any team.
面对这些强敌，我会更加有动力。我会先学习他们，然后去超越他们。跟他们的差距可能在于我们游玩的时间没有他们长，经验没有他们丰富，但是我们在短时间内的进步其实是特别大的，所以我们自己都很有自信，觉得自己能从中出现。
China is a very smart region.
They have a lot of world titles in other mobile games.
คิดว่าทีมจีนเป็นอย่างหนอดเข้าโมโหอย่างเกี่ยว
嗯，
เขา
有一个
我觉得未来中国是很大的潜力吧，对我们来讲一个很大的挑战。他们对我们有期待，我们也会尽我们全力展现出自己最好的一面。这是我们中国队第一次参加 M 赛，但肯定不是最后一次。
我们已经做好准备登上舞台。
ये
After seeing a lot of players being asked about Team KBG and what to expect from them, some of them said that we don't know actually what to expect from Team KBG, and some of them said maybe a year, maybe a two, and Team KBG might be better, or China.
With suitcases like that, if you got a glimpse of those, it might be faster than you think, for the most part. But you can see, even in that insider video, there's so much respect out there for this team. Even taking a look at this, I'm pretty sure that's mixed up, by the way.
Oh, but you are the only one who predicted them to lose.
Hey, my prediction, I do want to just say, I'm pretty sure that was flipped around, but who knows? I don't have a caster curse. I know, international events, everybody likes to talk about caster curses, but I did say that I wanted to see KBG.
मैं वो चार्ज ना आ रही
I
है.
would like to see them move
तो
forward, of
लड़ा जा
course.
रहे हैं.
And
ऊपर
so
चली गई.
I'm actually, I'm going to say that. I think they do pull through for this matchup here for Imperial.
But
ये भी
again,
तो
we have known, like right now, your take on KBG and the prediction that you have, but I didn't quite know. What is your take on expecting Team KBG to win a rush?
I think I went for KBG there 2-1 because I feel like you just want to believe, right, in this team that no one knows about. The enigma situation here. They're just a black hole. You have no idea what's going to happen right there. So I think that is something that they can use to their advantage. And as Maisu mentioned, the Chinese region, man, they just have something. The only question is, have they had enough time so far?
But did you rely on LaFell's research?
LaFell's research? I gotta say, man, that swayed my opinion really, pretty hard. I didn't quite believe it, but then seeing that there's so much information that I can't even process it, I think they have this in the bag.
Yeah, they might have this in the bag. The drafting phase will start in a matter of seconds. Team KBG is up to the test, and Team Imperial is also up there to prove that they can be better than great. The drafting phase already started, and whoa. Yi Sun Shin as a ban from Team KBG.
Okay, interesting that they decided to go that route. The response even from Imperial, they go ahead and take out the Bruno. That makes sense. The Matilda. Now, the YSS ban, I feel like could be something they just don't want to deal with.
YSS
For
band.
the most part, it is possibility too that YSS still can actually carry some games into in a certain situation, certain environment. But does it warrant the ban, Arashi? Maybe you can expound on that.
If they had any unique experience we haven't seen
Canada
just
Canada
yet,
versus China.
then
Bro,
maybe.
कैसे होता है?
But on paper so far, from
China
all
versus
the other
China
tournaments, we have not seen that the Yisun Shin is that big of a powerhouse. Although, as you mentioned,
नहीं खतरा
we've
है
seen
जल्दी.
assassins come back into the meta, and you can count Yisun Shin as a marksman, but technically he is also an assassin. So it might just work. It might be a different meta we haven't seen. That's exactly what we want to see. Although with that, all the other bands are still pretty typical. The Guinevere, the Faramis as well. Now that's where you will start to wonder, are they going to bring out something crazy in the picks? Because that is what I personally am waiting for.
Yeah, man, that's crazy. From Team KBG, they have just banned that Eastern Chin, and maybe, just a maybe, they have studied Imperio and they knew that they have a monster Eastern Chin among them. But so far, so good. The first pick for Team KBG, they take that Joy, and Joy have already proven that it is a really good pick to be brought up to the international scene, even after she got a little bit nerfed. But
हाँ तो रिच ला.
Team KBG,
Lobro
will
टेरा
they
जिसे
bring up
कुत्ता मैं
surprise
फिर.
or not? That's the hard question.
I think that's one of the main points, right? The
तो
Joy,
ऑलरेडी कुत्ता रहा
not much of a surprise so far, but is there something up their sleeve? Is there a niche pick? Is there a cheese pick that they like to go for? The fact that they did also take out the Guinevere makes sense. Like you mentioned earlier, Yasu, you're not really expecting to see the Guinevere pop up here, as flexible as that hero can be. So the last pick here on that swing back was going to be the Angela, who we've seen pop up now quite often so far, just to start off day number one, paired up with that Tarizla. What's the answer from KBG?
Well, with Tarizla being picked in, so you don't expect the Khalid, you don't expect a Yuzong. So usually Baxia comes to mind, and with KBG already selecting a Joy, unless they flex it in a very forced way, they won't be able to get this Baxia away from the hands of Imperio. So the order of picks here makes sense. But here, can they just pick something? Are they going to go for a counter pick? Are they going to go for flex picks? They can just confuse Imperio. Turns out it's going to be the Lilia and maybe the Arlott. It was banned a lot in match number one.
Actually, I quite like KBG's draft because they have slowdown
कोई भैया
effect
ना उनका मस्त
and they
मॉडल
have a
में
really
सब
good
हो
team fight. Crowd control is already there even
रहा
before
है.
like having the
कभी
rumor
तीन
if
समय सबसे
like
नहीं दानी.
Arla didn't decide somehow to be the
कभी
rumor,
तीन
and also
उनके
they
दानी
have
सबसे
a really
ऑप्शन
good amount
मॉडल.
of damage, which is mostly
कौशल का नंबर चाहिए
magical damage. But KBG team haven't brought up the marksman yet or the gold laner, and I think that they might. It might be a plan for them to go to
कभी
the
थैंक्स
second
हो
phase
को
without the marksman.
टेको
But
रेंज उसको.
will Imperial team take a marksman and focus on banning it? I don't know.
Well, with that, again, KBG admitted that their hero pool might be a little less than what people are expecting to see or what they're used to seeing, but maybe they've just mastered, some of that limited options that they've had the time to prepare, and you can see the execution there. Now, that response, once again, 1-1 popping up here from Imperio. This is a gold lane option that we don't see too successful nowadays from, the former glory days of 1-1 being picked up all the time.
Do you think that after Imperius team got that 1-1 and started focusing on the gold lane, KBG after taking the jungler, will they focus on the jungler or not?
On the jungle bans, perhaps, but no, the mid lane is what they're targeting. They want to make sure that no fast clear is available. One of the only heroes that can really match Lilia is the Novaria, so that will be denied away. Here's a fun fact. They believe in luck, and when they're practicing in the coach's house, they always use the exact same chairs for good luck. That's from Imperio, so
They
we'll
should have
see
brought him here.
if they get lucky. maybe they are sitting on their own custom chairs.
They have the custom secret labs in their coach's place.
Yeah, and maybe all the stars are aligned for Team Imperio to have their best moments, and maybe they will take this back home. So Team Imperio, so far, again, so far so good in terms of the draft, except for that Yi Sun Shin. It is a surprise to me. So yeah, you can see that even the fans, they have some fans already. Let's go KBG, and people are rooting in the stage for KBG. But Imperio team, they have that Diggy in the ban list, and now they use more crowd control into it. It's a really good combination so far.
They want a full-on team
Exports.
fight, but KBG respawn
Nice with
versus the
here.
carry to shred down these tanky members. The Terizla and the Kufra will not be able to stand in front of the carry for a long period of time at all. And the X-Borg just is to deny the pickoff and to deny the bit of the crossbow of tank damage. Because, you know, in MPLI, Wolf was mentioning that this 1-1 is one of the best marksmen in the game, but that's only when you have all the right prerequisites.
Yeah.
For now, a lot of crowd control, an Angela to boot, that is a lot of damage. And you wonder, is it going to be a protect the 1-1 strategy? Because Blacklist was the one using it in MPLI. If they want to go for a mage right here, it's also an option, but it's a Roger! What?
The wolf is coming. The wolf is
Wow.
coming.
Wow.
We see that right now. Roger is being brought up to the international
As we
scene.
mentioned, Wolf.
Yeah,
They
wolf.
picked Roger. Coincidence? Is it
Maybe.
possible?
Maybe a coincidence. Maybe they heard you. That's why they took the wolf. So
All right.
after the game, or like after the draft finished, who do you lean towards, Naisu?
Man, with that Roger pick, I don't know. That's a big risk plus the 1-1. So right now I'm gonna have to go with the lineup for KBG. It's more standard-ish in a way. There's some variation there, but again, we'll see if this has plays a fact that they have a limited hero pool. Maybe they mastered these heroes and they make it work. We'll see. We'll find out.
Yeah, in their first appearance, KBG are now challenging themselves to be better than great. The game will begin, and the second match will be here with us, brought to you by Kadia, brought to you by the sponsor for the sponsors for this game, Simba. Okay, Simba in the jungle. So Simba is there. I don't know if there is like a fun fact behind that, but anyways, KBG's team and also
Water ball
Imperial
gets more
team
than you
will start the classical way.
Aurora against Simba, man. Can he win it against the king of the jungle? We must see. I think what I'm also curious about is the roaming Arlet right here, because usually there's a lot of reasons why the Arlet does well, but it's almost a necessity. If the Arlet falls behind, KBG is going to find it very difficult. Look at the EXP lane, and see, just doing a lot of damage, true damage.
Oh, Tide's already going to have to flicker around. There's Aurora. First blood going to the hands of Imperial right away. Under a minute. Simba should be just fine to back off, but that's a good start for Imperial already.
And this first blood gate was like brought to you by Kadia, and right now let's have a quick look at the emblems.
Look at the agility and wilderness blessings available for Keep Best, but
Steffi gonna be in trouble here. He flickers out. There's Aurora again. One hit away. He'll get it. Does the turret take him out? It doesn't. Imperial off to a strong start. Tides will finally get a kill. Oh, he's on the hunt. Aurora. Level 4. Level 2 Tides. Aurora gonna run into the wall. And it'll be a double for Tides.
There can be only one king in the jungle, and so far it has been the wolf.
It's been the wolf, but he gets taken out there. But this is what Imperial wants. Even if they don't really win super hard in the early game, that late game 1-1 is what they're waiting for. And level 4 is where they can try and use this Angela Roger combo. We haven't seen it before, but in theory, right? More movement speed, more damage, it can definitely work in favor of Imperial Esports.
But the thing I haven't seen quite much is the babysitting of the Angela unpredictability.
There it is right there. Aurora with Art Guard. They slam into KBG, but Steffi's gonna fall. They still have some firepower to go through. Marquino's in trouble. He will fall. It's a double. CU gets it on this X-Borg. They're gonna back off for now. Aurora could go ahead and take this buff as well. Alongside, they took the turtle, but there's fight left in KBG.
That was a bit extra from Imperial, man. It seemed like they really got the neutral objective. They could really walk away, but they go in and tank the whole last Insanity. Granted, it's still an early game situation right here. No real items for the X-Borg just yet. But if they repeat the kind of mistake, it might be fatal later on, as Ur is able to actually avoid a gank. That mobility is mainly what makes the 1-1 so good. If the items can come in and provide more damage on top of the utility, that is the ideal situation that Imperial want to look for.
KBG is pulling off a quite good performance compared to Nova team that we have witnessed in the MPLI. So for some of you who might have expected, the KBG wouldn't like have a chance, or like based on history, they wouldn't, or like they will not play good. well, they are playing good. They are ahead in goal, just with a little bit, but they know what exactly they are doing, and they are executing it really, really smoothly.
And it's a great execution so far, but they need to do a bit more than that because if they want to really take over, they have to try and push the advantage right here and use what they have. Tides with 2 kills right here is going to be a bit too difficult to deal with, especially in the early game. At least a 1v1. That is something that they have to try and take advantage of and maybe do some aggressive maneuvers into the jungle, right? Let Simba, the rightful king of the jungle, to assert his dominance.
Well, the king in the jungle, as I told you, there should be just one king in the jungler. A ship with two captains always sinks.
जरा
So
काहीर होत एकछिन
this ship should have only one captain and only one ruler in the jungle. Would it be Simba or will it be Aurora? You're in the mid lane is trying to just like freeze the lane a little bit against God Yang, and so far so good. Team Imperio and Team KBG are just around the corner to be equal to each other.
Once again, it's going to be a 4 versus 4 for the Turtle. They're going to jump in. Penalty zone finding 2. LMU going to be in trouble. Hard card comes through. Simba will get the Turtle. Can they get the fight? Simba's still going to back off. They're trying to get Marquino. They can't find him. Tides flickers out. Stays alive or tried to as he gets one shot left by Aurora as he finds the kill.
What a fadeaway by Aurora right there. That was a messy fight, but Imperio, they're still coming on top technically. I think Keepers Gaming were just a bit too overzealous right there, almost baited. And when they're kiting backwards from Imperio, that's where it's kind of dangerous because they do have that Lilia that outputs that damage, and the Purify makes it so difficult for Imperio to get a decisive kind of team fight because there's always going to be a back and forth kiting situation. For now though, the fact that Aurora has 3 kills is definitely not ideal, and he I believe is out farming Simba, having a 1 level advantage. So that is something that Imperio need to be using to their advantage.
I'm impressed actually by the performance of both teams because so far Imperia have been showing really good performance, and KPG, oh, it seems like he knows what's happening inside that bush. He just doesn't want to get in because he knows it's a dead bush, and if he went in, he will just like lose his life, and it's not worth it. They don't like, how can I say, they don't want to play an aggressive gameplay, and also I think that they have prepared so much.
Yeah, again, a part of this is protect Godyak, right? Let him shine on this carry later on. And the fact that Tides kind of stalled this initiation from Imperio for now is great. And you can see some of the backup from LMU is coming in as well. We'll see if they can keep it together. Godyak going to be the focus here. Under the turret they go. That's a lot of damage, but the hard card comes through. They get the lockdown.
damage
Godyak going to fall. Simba joining the party. Can he get a kill? Gets the
देखिए
minion to
नहीं
clear
वाचन
it
होते
out. Keeps the turret alive, but they lost 2 bodies for KBG.
What an insane dive right there. Godin just does not have enough damage to really compete in that situation. And that was even before the crossbow of Tang was used. So Imperial Esports, this isn't even their final form. They can go even harder than LMU.
Gets the crossbow of Tang off that time. He's going to take out LMU. And now a turtle. Third one of the game up. Does KBG actually want to contest this? They're still relatively keeping the gold even. But you can see the decision making coming through. Final slash. There's the hard guard already being used on Aurora. They're trying to fight it out. Last Insanity can come through as well. They force Imperio back for now. So you're going to have to flicker out. He stays alive. No one falls. But Turtle still for the taking here for Imperio.
I think that export pick is the one that Team KBG focuses on to carry on the early game, but the late game damage will be most focused on that carry and the true damage.
Simba goes in, takes the turtle, just like that. KBG didn't even need to contest it. They believed in Simba and he did it.
Smooth criminal right there, just stealing it from under their noses. Now engaged though from Steffi, it's gonna work.
Yep, they get the last Insanity out. That is a resource out for now. But again, great thing from KBG. They are keeping up with Imperial right now.
Yeah, they are keeping up, and actually I'm surprised by how much they are showing in their first appearance. KBG is really doing really great, but Team Imperial on the other hand is also doing a decent and like showing a decent amount of experience. Team Imperial might actually be a dark horse.
Dark Horse Imperial. I mean, KBG is also doing really, really good because if you notice, right, there've been a lot of traps set up by Imperial, but Tides just hasn't been falling for it. He keeps predicting where they're where they're setting up the trap and avoiding it, showing great instincts so far. And they're only letting see you just stand in the front and take the damage, knowing that he can just escape with the Firaga armor. And as time passes, Simba and Gojang are gonna do even more and more damage. Nuru as well. Afterwards, Imperio, the one that's gonna fall off, because if they build a Wind of Nature or a Winter Truncheon, that could be the end of it.
Yeah,
Very decisive. Again, Steppy going to find the mark. Tides could be in trouble. Final slash. Trying to buy some time. CU joins. LMU is there as well. Can they turn the tide? Crossbow of Tang going to be expended. And they back off after that. Imperial knows exactly what they want to do.
KPG knows that Imperial wants to force that team fight and they know that they have to go back. I really admire how many times Team KPG and their map awareness was there to avoid inevitable fights, but to get the best, I'm gonna say the best outcome from such an inevitable ending fight for Team Imperial. So far, they are depending so much on that X-Borg. Do you think that when will we see the carry shine?
I think at about 13 minutes, that's the general assumption. It's late game, kind of, even though it's not super, super late game. Once the core items are done, there's going to be danger coming in from Keep Best Gaming. But afterwards, in that late game, let's say 16, 17 minutes, that's where we expect Keep Best Gaming to itemize accordingly and just nullify a lot of the tools that Imperio has. The healing, for example, they can get reduction for that. They can go for immunity to deal with the crossbow of Tang. Once they do that, I think the late game is dangerously difficult for Imperio to beat. So they gotta try and make use of this Lord as much as possible.
Yeah, they have opened up that bot lane just to keep KBG busy until they get the Lord. Do they want the Lord or do they want the
Simba's
team
not
fight?
even there for this. Lord, but most likely going to the hands of Imperio. Aurora does get it. Simba still pushing to the top side. You in trouble, has the immortality. God Yang trying to help him out, but won't be enough. A couple hits away, and they find it. Now God Yang left alone under the turret, trying to bomb, trying to weave, still going, keep it alive for as long as he can. Will finally fall. So
Simba.
KBG trying to find something.
They are trying to fight something, but they just got one turret in exchange for a Lord. Maybe at some point, maybe that's a good exchange, but look at both junglers. They are just like hungry. Like Simba, he's hungry. Wolf, he's also hunting blood. So both of them want to get that kill, but they are now back to safety, and Team KBG approaches a defensive phase.
It's a 2.3k gold lead, and Imperio are trying to increase it even more with this Lord. I think that Keep Best Gaming are just content on staying under the turrets, just playing it really, really safe right now. They have the late game, I would say. It's great confidence.
Oh, yeah.
But, they let go of too many things. The gold lead can just spiral out of control. I think generally, to be able to just brute force win the game, most people would say about 10k is where it's at. So 7k,
Huge initiation from Imperio under the turret. Can they still continue on? LMU gonna grab a kill. Martino in trouble. Heart guard gonna be used as well. Aurora grabs a kill. Imperio is hungry, but all they got out of it is Tides.
Oh my god. Oh my god. That flicker ultimate, that flicker engagement from the Kufra was really good. It was well executed. They didn't get most of the kills. All of them ran away, but Tides was there to be the sacrificial lamb.
Look at the gold swing though. Generally, I think it swung in favor of Keep Best Gaming. They can take whatever trade any trade they can get right now, they definitely want. But see you.
So you're gonna be in trouble here. Took quite a bit. Aurora, again, we talked about the combination, the Heart Guard with this Roger, the way that he works. It's too fast for KBG to deal with right now.
The amount of split pushing that Simba is doing making me feel like he's an Hayabusa or maybe a Fanny because he's so focused on that push.
He can 1v1 anyone, I feel like, at this point, unless he really makes a big mistake. For Imperio, though, they have a very one-dimensional teamfight style, right? Yur generally is the one in charge of dealing the damage, so if they can zone him away, they can go for a fight without him available. Oh, I just said that, but he just takes it away.
He does take it away, but we wanna know the in-game equipment with you, Arashi. What is like catching your eyes right now?
Well, for now, no real Wind of Nature done yet for God Yang, so he can't really be as aggressive as he wants, but he does have damage. So if Imperial dives in a bit too aggressively,
Oh, Tide's going to be in trouble. Final class of 4 members, but nothing to follow up with. So despite that, they can't do anything about it. Imperio building on the momentum you talked about, Arashi. They're now nearly 5K ahead and Lord in sight.
Even by having that final slash taking 5 members of Team Imperio, there was no backup, there was no follow-up from the team KBG. Will they go for that Lord? That's a huge question.
Steffi going to charge in again, finds Elmu, gets that Purify out. They're going to keep the map bay. Still, Lord going to be worked on by Aurora, and there's nothing KBG can do about it for now.
I think that Simba, will they rely on Simba to take a neutral objective once again alone?
ooh, I mean, I think that's a bit too idealistic. There's so many ways that Imperio can really stop Simba from even coming close to the Lord. But now that he has the Winter Truncheon, this is what I'm talking about. The more counters they have towards the main damage source of Imperio, the better they can do. And at this point, Lumu on that Lilia is doing a lot of damage. If they can coordinate and get Tides to engage with him, there could be a lot of potential, but no.
Yeah, he's going to be in trouble here. Black Shoe's already going to be used, but look at all the damage and members from Imperio. Simba trying to help him out, joins the fight, pops the damage. LMU will go down, and meanwhile on the bottom side, they were trying to defend the base. KVG being split up, and now the Lord making its way top side.
Imperio can rely on the Lord to finish that job and to take that kill, and now the base is cracked wide open. Just one mid lane turret is still there.
Stefan gonna jump in again, finds his mark. They're going for it. Penalty zone gonna be used along with the crossbow tang, and now the base gonna be worked on. Imperio will take game number 1.
Imperio team takes game number 1 in a best of 3 series. What a nice finish.
Imperio, man, with all the aggression, making the Roger work. That was such an insane performance, and despite the potential in the late game, KBG just was not allowed to get there.
This is interesting, right? I mean, you see Aurora, you see him in person, you see the hero he picks, you see his play style. It reminds me of someone, right? But again, a great performance there from Aurora and from Imperio, the team as a whole. They, for a while, KBG, they kept things together, and then it just snowballed out of hand. And so you're wondering, exactly how do they adjust from that, right? Because this one was a tough mid to end game transition they had to deal with.
Yeah, and they had some mistakes, but not crucial mistakes. So I think that KVG, once they get back to the room, they can discuss those mistakes and think what is better to be changed and to be to bring on a better performance. Imperio, on the other hand, they are doing just fine, and I think even at drafting, they are also doing fine.
I feel like in the drafts, I think it's a two-parter, right? The drafts have potential depending on how the fight goes.
Yeah.
But even how they play out the fights, right? KBG were caught in multiple AoE spells again and again. And if you look at their composition, a lot of the heroes don't really need to be with each other to make the plays happen, right? Even the Lilia, to an extreme degree, can just go in aggressively solo and then Black Shoes out. But they stay together like a team fight composition. And in this situation, in this context, with Imperial Esports just still ahead in gold, I think it's a bit too dangerous to just clump up against them and get run down as 5.
Like, I'll say this, KBG this game, there was a lot of hope there. There was a lot of hopeful moments in this, and I feel like they relatively, with the draft that they had, they did well enough, right? I mean, for the first game, they might be working on some nerves, some shakes here and everything else, but based on this performance from game 1, the foundation, you can see it's starting to be set again. They had not as much time as some of these other teams to prepare for this, but I will say, at least from what we saw, previously in the MPLI, this is more, there's some promise here, right? There's promise that they could pull through. They just have to, I guess the biggest thing is how fast can they adjust? How fast can they learn from the mistakes that they clearly made in this game, right? There's, at one point, again, Simba was trying to push the top side lane while they were dealing with the Lord, right? So there's something they have to work on, and also just the rotation-wise as a whole would be something that they want to go back and look at. And now we wait for the game MVP here. There he is.
Oh, he's looking absolutely pleased to be here right now.
That Roger pick.
Roger pick, man. Well, MVP of the game here, Aurora on that Roger. Definitely making a huge statement. And getting the snowball, he wanted a very aggressive emblem set right here. And usually it's a bit too risky. You lose out on a lot of value on the other emblems, but he's able to make it work. And with a 94% kill participation, he definitely was the go-to weapon for Imperial Esports, and he's able to deliver as well. This is what we were waiting for, man. Since the beginning, since match one, where are all these off-meta picks that we haven't seen in a long, long time? Finally, we see one, and it comes out strong.
Yeah, and also like you have to put in like into your consideration that there's a lot of pressure on both teams because there's a lot of expectation on both teams, and on Team KVG they are, let's say, majority of people are expecting them to be a dark horse. So there's a lot of pressure. They are against a huge challenge, but who wins that challenge so far is Team Imperial.
Yeah, I think Imperial had the right idea. They had the more executable game plan. And for KPG, I can't help but feel that initially they were doing just fine. They were stalling for time. But the mid game, when they felt like, okay, you know what, we have some power spikes, some items, let's go and risk it and start going for fights. That's where they really start falling short. So maybe it's only a matter of waiting a little bit longer, because you can see that when they were spread out, when they were avoiding fights as much as possible, Imperial were struggling to really find those big team fights, those big pickoffs. So I think that is something that they can definitely try and do.
Not only that, but in just a second we're going to look at the highlights here and kind of how this all unfolded. But one of the main things too is, Aurora was able to shine as MVP, but a lot of that too had to deal with the fact that you have Fashion here on that Angela, able to provide the heart guard. You see a lot of these early skirmishes also go in their favor because of that. I mean, even this, right? The snowball kind of already started, and that's why I say KVG did a good job. Despite this, they found their own counterattack, right? They found their own punishes against Imperio, but unfortunately, it wasn't consistent throughout the entire game.
And I think when they just relied too early to try and go for a proper 5v5, because like we mentioned, the damage is definitely there, but not when they fight, sporadically like this. They need to try and make sure that they have the right idea, they can corral Imperial Esports into the right zones to just, output the damage they really are trying to get. And you're gonna feel bad for Godyang, man. He was trying to survive as best as possible, and you see some mechanical plays from some Happy Feet, kind of dodge away from a lot of spells. But overall, in the end, he did not get to that power spike where he can actually make a difference in who comes out on top in a big fight.
And also, drafting-wise, KVG are doing good, but they need to work a little bit on their macro and micro skills. Well, actually, the micro skills were good, but the execution and like getting the best use out of it just wasn't there.
Yeah, they gotta be very careful about this, man, because you can see it. Every time they lose a fight, Imperio has the right composition to just run them down. They have so much mobility tools, 1-1 with the hops. I mean, the Angela and the Roger, there's just so much movement speed that you can't really escape from this comp. So they gotta play it safer instead of being more aggressive in the mid game. And they also didn't get to coordinate the big crowd control tools they have, like the final slash from Tides here, with a lot of damage. Like even here, God Yang tried to output it, but it wasn't. God Yang doesn't do AoE. He does single target damage. So I do wonder here. I feel like solutions are available. If they went for a bit more AoE, they can come out on top. If they went for a different marksman even, they can do that as well. Because if you go with a carry, it's almost like a 1-1, but even worse, right? You have to have even more tools to really get you in the late game, to get you security in the team fights as well.
Well, there was no wasted opportunity for me for Team KVG, but do you think if Joy came to that Lord fight, if you remember when Joy was pushing on up the top lane, do you think that it would have made any difference for Team KVG?
I think the joy being away from the Lord isn't unheard of. We've seen assassins go for a split push approach, especially when they can't really win in the team fights. And that is the exact situation that KBG were in. So splitting was fine. I think the problem was everyone else was approaching the Lord, right? They should be actively trying to avoid giving Imperio anything but the Lord. But instead, it's a bit of a split focus, right? They want to do two things at the same time, and both just ended up not being that good for the team.
Or like go even for two different objectives and make Imperial team, go take the Lord, but we will use that time, we will use that opportunity to have a trade that is worth giving you the Lord.
I feel like honestly, considering that the especially the carry is just taking so long to spike up to the late game, you're gonna require Simba and Lumu to just go and do a lot of damage, do a lot of aggression here. Because if you look at the stats, right, at least when it comes to orange buffs, he's been able to actually go into the jungle of Aurora and try and find trade-offs from those big teamfight moments. But unfortunately, they weren't using the Joy in the early game as like one of the main playmaking tools. And I think that could be something they can try and do in the next game.
Yeah, Joy definitely one of the reasons why we see teams prioritize that is because it has such impact from early to mid game especially, and then the impact is still there in late game. But like you mentioned, Rashi, I agree with that. I think the carry just takes a little bit too much time. It's one of those picks that yes, it's also just very singular focused. The damage potential is great against some of the more durable heroes, the tanks, but you need to buy so much time. So if you don't have control on that early game, again, you're against a Roger and an Angela combination alone, you're going to struggle in terms of the way things are going time-wise for the team, and that's kind of what we saw unfold here.
We have been used to see Angela getting like in combo or like in sync with some, let's say, specific picks, utility heroes mostly. So after seeing it being combined with that Roger, do you think that we will see that as a thing happening during the whole series?
I think it's always been a thing, man. With the Roger and technically sometimes with the 1-1 as well.
But at the best, like really far away before these updates. So I haven't seen a Roger getting played lately.
Oh, yeah.
Generally. So having him with an Angela, yeah, it is something that we have all seen before, but from a long time ago.
Exactly. I mean, Roger and Angela, I think the building blocks of this strategy are present, right? Movement speed, snowball potential, damage. And, it works well with the big shielding because he's not very tanky either. So I think that kind of potential is available, but teams just haven't been experimenting because you've seen the similar approach being done with, let's say, the 1-1, the Irithel, right? Marksman, fighters, quote unquote, with the Yuzong as well. There's a lot of ways you can combo with the Angela, but I think now we're going to get some insights from Mara.
Yeah, we will head back to an interview and we will see some information given, brought to us by some of the players, maybe even the coach. We will see in a bit. Let's go backstage and see what's happening.
And now it's time to meet the fans of KBG. How you guys doing? You know what? What's amazing? KBG, Keep Best Gaming, is giving this to everybody here at Geospace Venue. That's why everybody should come. So everyone right here has this clapper. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Also, we have this flag right over here. So how about let's give this to somebody. Here, you hold this one right now. Now, we have some fans right here that we'd like to get to know. What's your name?
Vincent.
Oh, Vincent, you have your own mic, Vincent. Hi, Vincent.
Yeah.
Okay, and what's your name?
My name's Tinu.
Tinu, who do you think is the better fan right now? You're a stronger fan?
I'm definitely the better fan.
Oh, okay, well, he thinks he's the better fan.
Yes, of course.
Oh, you agree he's the better
wow,
fan?
You're so humble.
Oh, wow, he's so humble. Okay, let's go with the better fan first. Who's your favorite player?
My favorite player is the jungler, Simba.
Simba. Why Simba?
Because I've seen his passion from the interview. He idolizes Onyx, and I see that potential in him.
So you see the potential in him. So you watch all his interviews?
Yes.
Okay, tell us something about Keep Best Gaming that maybe a lot of people don't know. Okay, you give us, let's pretend you're a reporter. Tell us something. Give us an inside scoop.
So basically, they've won their championship in the China region, and they've beaten Nova, which was from MPLI. Right? It was actually a very close fight.
Very close fight, yeah. Okay, how about you? Who's your favorite player, Vincent?
I think it's the XP laner, CU.
CU?
I think it's a good XP laner because he has played the role of XP laner very well. Like just now, the play of Xbox, I think it's very, very well. Like he initiates war and then he takes the damage and all that. Yeah.
He just gave us a report about KBG. Now, being one of the fans of KBG, what's something that you can report on and give us an inside scoop about? Tell us any fact about KBG. Why do you think they're gonna win?
I believe that they have been training it for a very, very long time. As I know, it's like more than a year, I think. And then I think their cooperation and and their communication is very well. So I believe that they can win this match. Okay.
Okay. Now I
Yeah.
want to see the way you communicate with the crowd. We're gonna see who has the better cheer amongst the both of you. All right. And how about everybody here? Everybody behind me? Yeah. We're gonna back them up. We'll start first with you.
All right.
Do you have a cheer? You know what? I'm gonna hold this because you could use anything. You could use your clapper, and whatever he's doing, you guys have to repeat.
Let's
All right.
go.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1, go.
KBG. KBG. Keep best. Keep best. Keep the best. Keep the best. Keep best gaming.
Keep best gaming.
KBG.
KBG. All right. Okay, I like it. I like it. Okay, now it's your turn, Vincent. We want to feel some energy. I can hold this up for you if you'd like. Okay. In 3, 2, 1, go.
Keep best gaming. Keep best gaming. Let's go. Keep best gaming. Let's go. 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 Let's go. KBG. Let's go. Let's go. KBG. Let's go.
All right. You know, they thought about that on the spot. Now, KBG is right there sitting down. What do you want to say to Keep Best Gaming?
Let's go, KBG. Epic comeback.
Epic comeback. What's your message to them right now before we start?
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure at all. Let's
Reverse
see.
sweep.
Reverse sweep. Let's see if it's going to be a reverse sweep. Right now, it's 1-0. We're going to see how game number 2 goes. Casters, be better than great.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have just heard a really good statement from the audience. We might see a reverse sweep for Team KBG.
Might? I mean, they were pretty confident, man. They're saying, do it. It's gonna happen. So it's not
Oh.
even a maybe at this point. So
Said definitely.
now Imperio Esports, they are the ones who are, under fire, man. Y'all gotta keep it up and make sure that it gets to a clean sweep, because otherwise, I think KBG's got a lot of support right here in the arena.
KBG's got a lot of support, but you can see Imperio there. They're feeling pretty good about the win, right? I mean, in a way, they controlled the majority of that game when it got to that mid to late game transition. So if you're KBG, you're hoping for them. That's hopefully what they were able to fix in this, short amount of time from game 1 to game 2, because there's a lot of boxes they need to check to get us to a game 3 for that, reverse sweep that the audience here is hoping for. But right now, I think one of the biggest things is you change the bans a little bit, right? Maybe you let one of those slip through. I'm not sure exactly why the YSS ban earlier. I'm wondering if they just opt to not go that route and maybe leave, let's say, the Guinevere open. Maybe that's up their arsenal. Again, we have to mention, and from what we've seen, that hero pool wise, it might be a little limited for KBG, right? And you want to be able to see the execution factor, like I was talking about when they had that first draft from the previous game. It showed that they had that under wraps for the most part, but again, carry, right? Just takes too much time to scale up against what was being presented to them from Imperio.
Well, if you thought about it, this is the Any desk. The Arashi, Naisu, Yasu desk, where anything can happen and everything will work. So maybe we'll see something or like anything that happens inside the game, and yet it works because the team KBG actually, when they entered the drafting phase, they shocked like not just us at the casting table. I think also the viewers, like with the Yisun Chin ban. But the jungler from Team Imperio also didn't pull off like a regular pick.
Exactly, and you have to wonder if maybe KBG, they're banning the Yisun Shin because they know something that Imperio, likes to do. The Roger, if you can substitute the Roger for the Yisun Shin, I don't think it's exactly like good, like the same way, but it has the same kind of potential to be played in a similar fashion. So I think that is something that KBG can be still concerned about. My real concern about their draft is going for the flex from the Arlet to the export, right? We expected maybe an Arlet in the EXP lane, but you see there's a good combination here, the Joy, Arlet, and Lilia, but they weren't able to actually get that three-man roaming squad to work effectively in the early stage of the game. So if they want to go with that, if they want Arlet to not be in the gold lane and help to carry out, then pick a different marksman. You need to put someone with the carry to make that work, because otherwise then you can pick something else that maybe is a bit more flexible for the rest of the team and not just for the select few laners in the mid and jungle.
Yeah, maybe just babysit your gold laner and depend on the late damage, but I agree with you. We might have seen like other choices other than the Arlet and also some picks. But Team Imperio on stage right now, they seem so confident. They seem like, hey, we're gonna take this to be the first sweep in a series in the first day, and we will take that.
As they should, right? They're
As they
confident
should.
enough.
As they should.
As they should, because why not be confident after their previous
yeah.
game? You know?
Exactly.
That's my point. And that's exactly why they take the 1-1 first pick. So Guinevere is actually open. And that's what I'm saying. You know, Imperio is feeling great about the previous game. And on the response from KB is Angela. I'm wondering again, do they actually want to test the waters here, pairing up the Angela with something that either
Angelo Sasayo,
they
bro.
haven't done before, or maybe they're a little uncomfortable with, but still, the fact that Guinevere is open, I'm not sure if they actually want to go that route.
How many times?
Irithel?
Irithel? Maybe. You want to catch it even before it comes. Okay, maybe next time. Better luck next time.
Go on, Yasu.
So, I think that Angela can do any chores except cooking. That's what she says, like over the game. She keeps telling you, I can do anything, but I cannot do cooking. So far, I think that Poppy Boom, which is the sound she does when she uses her ultimate,
I see.
have been there since the beginning, I guess. It haven't like left us along the series so far, and then we are at match 2 now. Imperial team, they get that Guinevere. Why are you laughing, Naisu?
You didn't see the message?
What?
Your debut? About their debut? They held it up there, but go on. I'm sorry.
It's like
just
show your reverse sweep.
Yeah, show your reverse sweep.
Support for the internet.
Your debut is pretty good. That's what they're saying.
Well, hopefully they can really deliver on the hopes of the fans right there. They let go of the Guinevere Terizla, so 2 very good initiation tools, and they have a 1-1 they can really follow it up. Earlier, I think
हजुर
I believe the Imperial banned away the Irithel.
नास्ता के
It's still a good matchup against the 1-1. Technically, you can never
हजुर
really
आयो भने
the weakness point in the back.
त्यति भन्छु नि अझै खासिनै त्यो
KBG, they're going for the carry
पानीपुरी
again. Now with the Bakshi Angela though, there could be a lot more
पानीपुरी
space
खान्छौँ
given.
मुसलका खाने हो त
By the gangs, by the roams being done.
त्यस्तै खान्छौँ चटपटे
Relatively for Imperial Esports, it's not bad,
You know what I
it's just not as fast as the Bakshi, so we'll see if this really
नेकी
pays
त्यो के त्यो
out.
भने
Well,
चटपटे
I
के
think that having that Guinevere is a force of
चटपटे
nature.
भुजा भुजा खाने हो नि
Imperial team at their first phase of draft.
पाउनु नि त्यस्तो
I
पुरै
think I'm leaning so much towards
त्यो
it.
हाल्दैन नि
In terms of classical drafts, because these are the picks that we see.
कलर त्यस्तो हाल्दैन त्यो यहाँका
I think you need to
हाल्दैन नि के
especially if it's a jungle tank win, because if you see how it's
चटपटेमा के हाल्दैन के
engagements, and sometimes it's about the lockdown, it's about the
यहाँ छ कि गाउँ के हाल्दैन त्यो
in the spot for let's say a Beatrix
चाउचा त्यो लिनु पर्यो नि झ्याउ लाग्छ नि थाहा भन्न
Rage or a Nibiru's
नाइ नाइ थाहा भन्न मैले
maybe even a little
थाहा भन्न कि बन्ने गराउने
burst damage usually is paired up with the Guinevere.
नाइ
So they're gonna require something a bit more, but without the Lilia
म त खान्छु
right
अझै
now, I do wonder what's gonna yeah, it's banned away.
चटपटे हान्यो भने के
KBG will have to find a different solution right here if they want to try and match.
यहाँ त्यस्तो हाल्दैन भने
Well, they still won with the carry, right? But this time, yeah, they
गर्ने
use the Angela and the Boxer
चटपटे के
combination
हाल्दैन
to work with.
त्यस्तो
And
त्यस्तो
interesting,
खाँदैन काच्चे
right? The way that the coach from Imperial, LVA,
चाउचा यसो खान्छ काच्चे
by the way, sounds very familiar. But how do they want to round out the first
Night.
three picks they have? Wanwan, Charisma, Guinevere is a great start. This is
सब
something we've
मैले
seen many
थाहा भएन
times now. Wanwan's kind of
सब मेरो
interchangeable,
गोजीमा
but the fact that you have to deal with a lot of the CC potential just between the Charisma and Guinevere alone is something that
नै नै
KBG
नै
has to
अड्डी छ
answer, right here. How do they round this draft out?
थाहा भएन कि नै छ मसँग
For me, KBG
मसँग
team
छ के
so far, or like,
जान्न
let's
किन्न
go for
मुसाइ जान्छ
Ryu.
किन्न
Ryu can take that Valentina. They can get the best use out
छ
of his
मसँग
Angela's ultimate, which is, I think, the only
मसँग
one
छ के रुपियाँ
the
देख्दैन
strength so far for Team KBG, at least for me. Maybe you can disagree with me, Arashi, but I think that that Angela is what KBG is building the draft around.
Well, before that though, here's a fun fact and an explanation.
Huh?
The Latam Mountain Shocker during the MLBB Latam Super League South Season
Huh?
3, Aurora recorded 100% 7-game win rate with Lee Sun-shin. That's why they got that respect in. It's not something we see a lot, but if you can make it work, it works. And for now, for KBG, what can they make work? Because there's no solution for the 1-1. I thought actually that they're going to play it like a kite back style. But with the Yutong, they're just committing for a full-on dive. But Imperio doesn't care. They go for the Novaria, giving them another target to really jump on.
Actually, KBG at this moment, what is missing now? Maybe a mage. Maybe they can make Angela play as the mage. But I would actually recommend the mage because so far, Team KBG is doing really good in terms of drafting. So and also Imperial on the other side, they have
त्यहीँ
a
र म्याक्स
variety
के लिन्छ
of
गेममा
good selections. If you are talking about the magical damage, the physical damage, the crowd control, and even like 1-1, she's already also a force of nature. So far, Minotaur. Who else? A suppression hero maybe?
Well,
Oh, an
it's an
Edith.
Edith, so it's a great choice technically against the Terizla. There's a lot of damage built in there with the passive, with the true damage. And there's a second life here. If you're gonna focus down on Edith, you gotta make sure you seal the deal, because otherwise the Primal Wrath will allow her to actually do a lot more damage back towards you. I thought that Minotaur would be in the consideration because of how divey, right? How close 1-1 needs to be. I thought crowd control can protect the carry as well, but turns out it's gonna be that Edith used as their main, their main tool right here for defensive purposes.
And as I told you, they might change the Angela and they might change her duties because she can do anything except cooking. She is now in the mid lane except for being at the rumor duty or like on duty to do some rooming skills stuff. So right now, holding the strings for this game, the wild card at his second match is witnessing Team KBG going up against Imperial Team, and so far this might go
Okay.
to a reverse sweep
Okay, bro. See you again. My mobile
and according to
too
the
much heat.
confidence, Team
I
Imperial
cannot stream
have
now.
this in the bag.
So goodbye, bro. I will back when the team miracle will be good. Like okay, it's 6 o'clock.